birth. Volume 1, 1921 to 1954. In the Brahman village of Tiwaripur, situated in the Buxar district of Bihar, India, near the banks of the holy Ganga, the liberated soul Srila Bhaktivedant Narayana Goswami Maharaj, renowned as Srila Gurudev and Bhaktabandhav, the friend of all devotees, appeared on this earth in the Vaishnav Brahman family of Pandit Baleshvarnath Tiwari and Shriyuta Lakshmi Devi. The Tiwaris were initiated in the Ramanuj Sampradaya and were descendants of the Jandilya Gotra. They faithfully engaged in bhakti yoga and, as religious householders, regularly hosted traveling sadhus. Many such sadhus visited Tiwaripur in the months of January and February, where they stayed on the banks of the Ganga to worship God and practice austerities. Early in the morning these saintly people bathed in the Ganga and absorbed themselves in meditation, kirtan, hearing Hari Katha, and sometimes performing fire ceremonies. Since devotees experience deep joy during discourses on the glories of God, every evening the sadhus, local Brahmins, and devout people of nearby villages gathered to perform kirtan and hear scriptural discourses at the home of Pandit Baleshvarnath and Gurudev's grandfather Shriman Dhyan Chandra Tiwari, both respected Vaishnav scholars. Whenever prominent Vaishnavas or sadhus were present, Pandit Tiwari requested them to speak to the assembled guests. On the evening of the new moon in the late winter of 1920, on the holy day of Mauni amavasya, a revered Vaishnav sadhu arrived at the Tiwari home, where hundreds of people had assembled to hear Hari Katha. Shriman Dhyan Chandra invited the sadhu to address the gathering. "I will speak Hari Katha," the sadhu announced, "on the condition that after hearing my words, everyone will try to follow my advice." Eager to hear his discourse, the guests agreed. The sadhu began by glorifying the devotees of the Lord. Whenever Ram is glorified, Hanuman comes to listen. When Krishna is praised, great souls like Prahlad, Bhishma, and Janak are present. Wherever Ram's pastimes are narrated, Hanuman sits at the back of the audience and leaves last. Once, Tulsidas went to hear Ram Katha and desired to receive Hanuman's audience. He wished to see Lord Ramchandra and was told this would be possible only after attaining the shelter of Hanuman. Gradually, as everyone began to leave, Tulsidas recognized Hanuman sitting at the back, disguised as an old man. Catching hold of Hanuman's feet, Tulsidas took the dust off his feet and begged for mercy. By Hanuman's blessing, Tulsidas later saw Lord Ram and received his mercy. The sadhu continued, "In this life it is not possible to directly meet Bhagwan, but he is very kind and sends his dear associates to this world. One should pray like this: Lord, how may I develop a relationship with your associates? How will they become my friends and guardians?" Association with saintly devotees connects us with God. But how can one recognize who is truly God's devotee? If one sincerely prays, God grants the vision and understanding needed to recognize saintly souls. Just as Srila Sukhdev Goswami tirelessly recited the Srimad Bhagavat, the sadhus narrated the glories of saintly devotees late into the night. The congregation listened with rapt attention, just as Pariksit Maharaj and the assembled sages once did. The sadhu then narrated the origin and importance of Mauni amavasya. In ancient times, the sadhu said, after Sati Devi burned herself at the sacrificial arena of her father Daksh, because her husband Shiv was disrespected, Lord Shiv felt that no one remained eager to hear the glories of Lord Hari. Only Sati Devi had been eager to hear such Hari Katha, and thus Shiv considered her his dearest companion. After Sati Devi left her body, Shiv absorbed himself completely in Samadhi. Shiv's duty is to relieve the burden of the universe by purifying the sinful desires of living beings through Hari Katha and Hari Kirtan. But without Sati Devi, Shiv sat alone in deep trance. Deprived of Hari Katha, the universe fell into darkness. Inauspiciousness spread, religious practices declined, and even the name of Vishnu was no longer spoken. Eventually, Sati Devi reincarnated as Parvati in the Himalayas. The demigods prayed to Shiv to accept Parvati as his wife and resume his universal duties, but he remained absorbed in trance. Finally, Shri Vishnu and Brahma arrived to awaken Shiv. They said, "O Bholanath, someone has come to hear Hari Katha. Accept Parvati and return to your divine responsibilities." The sadhu concluded. Mauni amavasya is the day Lord Shiv awoke from his trance by the mercy of Vishnu and Brahma. Breaking his silence, Shiv began to glorify God. Taking tulsi leaves and Ganga water, he vowed to accept Parvati after 1 month. 1 month later, on the 14th night of the dark moon, Lord Shiv accepted Parvati as his wife. That sacred night is known as Shiv Ratri. After the discourse, Pandit Tiwari invited the sadhu to stay in his home. Pandit Tiwari and Lakshmi Devi were anxious about having children. Their first child had died in infancy, and they feared that if an ordinary soul entered their family, their spiritual life would be disturbed. They humbly asked the sadhu, "Our relatives urge us to have children, but we fear becoming entangled in worldly life." The sadhu advised them, when Shivaratri comes, bathe before sunrise in the Ganga, then return and worship Lord Shiva. Shiva is the greatest devotee of Vishnu and has excellent relations with the Supreme Lord. If he is satisfied with your worship and prayer, he will petition God to have a pure devotee born in your home. The sadhu continued, "You should pray daily to Sri Krishna while reciting the Holy Gita, which is the treasure chest of Krishna's merciful advice and teachings. Krishna is present wherever the Gita is honored, and wherever Krishna is present, so are his devotees, just as a king is never without his entourage. You should also serve all devotees who visit your village, for it is the easiest means to please Krishna." Pandit Tiwari and Lakshmi Devi faithfully accepted the sadhu's instructions, and they vowed to serve the devotees and to regularly recite the Holy Gita. They prayed to Sri Krishna for the association of his pure devotees while meditating daily on a particular verse that especially attracted their hearts. "Man mana bhav mad bhakto, madhyaji mam namaskuru. Mam eveshyasi satyam te, pratijane priyo asime." Bhagavad Gita 18.65. Offer your mind to me, become my devotee, worship me and offer obeisance to me. In this way, you will certainly come to me. I promise you this truthfully because you are very dear to me. Srila Gurudev's parents went to the Ganga every day with a Sankirtan, congregational singing, party. After bathing, they returned home, applied tilak, sacred clay, on their bodies and worshipped the Lord. On the day of Shiv Ratri in the early spring, Pandit Tiwari and Lakshmi Devi served Bhagwan throughout the day and stayed awake all night to worship Lord Shiva. They prayed to Lord Shiva that they would be blessed with a son who was a great devotee of Krishna. On Shiv Ratri, the custom is to stay awake and perform worship 4 times, from 6 to 9 in the evening, 9 to 12, 12 to 3 and, finally, 3 to 6 in the morning. Pleased by such worship, Lord Shiva will fulfill all desires of the worshipper. Pandit Tiwari and Lakshmi Devi sat in the Shiva temple and recited the Bhagavad Gita and Ramayana. Next, they performed a fire ceremony and then bathed the Shivling. They prayed to Lord Shiva, "By your mercy, may the nativity of a great devotee of Bhagwan Krishna take place in our family." They thought, "Many devotees of Sri Ram are in our family. Now it would be a great blessing upon us if a devotee of Sri Krishna appears. Having a son who has pure love for Krishna would enable us to always hear Krishna's glories in his saintly company." After Pandit Tiwari and Lakshmi Devi concluded their prayers and worship in the early morning, they dozed off and had a vision. Thousands of effulgent devotees were singing the holy names of the Lord while dancing in ecstasy. They had glowing golden complexions and long arms, which they held high in the air as they danced along. As they approached the Tiwari home, Pandit Ji and Lakshmi Devi gazed at the divine personalities and thought, "We usually have kirtan here in the evening. How is it that this kirtan is happening in the morning?" As the congregation approached the house, the dancing and singing increased in fervor. One of the divine beings came forward and, with a sweet smile on his face, entered the hearts of Pandit Tiwari and Lakshmi Devi. They awoke suddenly, imbued with joy and attraction towards the divine being they had just envisioned. From that day onward, Pandit Tiwari and Lakshmi Devi always remembered the personality in their dream. In due course, Lakshmi Devi prepared a suitable maternity room in preparation of childbirth. On 6th February 1921, the Tiwari family guru, a Brahmin named Pandit Mishra, who was initiated in the Ramanuj Sampradaya, visited their home from his village of Majriya Gav. Pandit Tiwari welcomed his guru, offered obeisance, gave him a seat, and washed his feet. After speaking together for some time, Panditji offered his Guru some prasadam, pure foodstuffs offered to God, and a place to rest for the night. In the early morning, Lakshmi Devi went into labor. She rushed to the household maternity room and, with little pain or difficulty, gave birth to a beautiful boy. It was a few minutes past 4 in the morning, on Mauni Amavasya, 7th February, on the junction between the auspicious Vedic months of Pushya and Magh. The family guru had already awakened and gone to the Ganga. Upon returning, he heard a boy had just been born and went immediately to bless the infant. Many sadhus were residing at the Tiwari household, observing vows of silence on the day Lord Shiv was petitioned to arise from his meditation. But when they caught sight of the effulgent baby boy, they gathered and began to spontaneously sing in loud voices, Shriman Narayan Narayan Hari Hari, Shriman Narayan Narayan Hari Hari. The sweet sound of the holy names filled the atmosphere in affectionate welcome of Sri Hari's beloved devotee. The family guru, Pandit Mishra, examined the infant and saw he had remarkable blue eyes, a golden complexion, and a wide forehead adorned with a distinct mark of tilak, the sign of a devotee of Lord Vishnu. The auspicious signs of a jug, lotus, flag, and urdhva rekha, a line signifying an exalted soul, were on the boy's feet, and there were chakras, auspicious lines forming the shape of a disc, on his fingertips. Observing all these markings, Pandit Mishra told Pandit Tiwari, "You are extremely fortunate. This boy is not from your small village. He is a great devotee of God. I will draw up his birth chart immediately." Upon the birth of the boy, Panditji and Lakshmi Devi realized their son must be the same personality who had previously visited their dream. They rejoiced, "Now a saint has appeared in our home." All the guests were pleased and said they had never seen such an amazing boy. After compiling the chart, Pandit Mishra discussed with the Tiwaris what to name their child. They decided to give him the name Shriman Narayan. Since their son was born on Mauni Amavasya, the Tiwaris felt that Shiv had blessed them with a special child. His grandmother Dulari Devi said, "He is peaceful and does not cry. So we will give him the nickname Bholanath." Bholanath is a name of Shiv meaning, the simple-hearted Lord. Pandit Mishra then explained to Panditji and Lakshmi Devi, "Your son has an auspicious chart. It shows that he will be a Chakravarti Maharaj. Chakra denotes a wheel, and Varta, its hub. Therefore, Chakravarti is one whom society will revolve around, since he has conquered all directions and is uncommonly distinguished." Pandit Mishra concluded to Pandit Tiwari and Lakshmi Devi, "Your son will travel the world to liberate souls from the bondage of Maya by leading them on the path of bhakti."